Hey guys! A new Miss Universe 2024 has been crowned. She is a 24-year-old model beating 125 other contestants in the 73rd edition of Miss Universe, which was held in Mexico City last November 16th. But before I continue, if you're new to this channel, welcome! And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and the bell icon below to get instant notification for the next video. The winner, Victoria Kjær Teglvig, makes history by becoming the first contestant from Denmark to win the coveted crown. She is also the first Danish representative to make the top 5 since Aino Korva placed first runner-up in 1963, 61 years ago. And not only that, but Victoria is the first blonde to win Miss Universe since Jennifer Hawkins of Australia won in 2004. Victoria's victory was not at all surprising since she figured in the top 5 of practically every pageant portal's list. The competition took place at the Arena Ciudad de Mexico in Mexico City. Originally, there were 127 young women who had signed up for the contest, but 2 contestants, Kosovo and South Africa, ended up withdrawing from the competition due to illness. And Panama had been disqualified a few days earlier because she had spent one night in her boyfriend's hotel room, which is a major violation of the rules. The show began with a pre-recorded video of outgoing Queen Shanice Palacios announcing the live broadcast. She is surrounded with the contestants at the Plaza de la Constitución in the historic center of Mexico City. This was followed by another pre-recorded video of the girls dancing and voguing to mariachi music, and then cuts into the live telecast at the stadium, where we see all the contestants wearing beautiful dresses and boots by Dominican Lebanese designer Janina Azar, and performing the opening number with the musical assistance of performers Taboo and Ricaelio singing Vamos a hacerlo la mexicana, and accompanied by over 20 mariachis. The camera then zooms to musician and producer Emilio Estefan, who is the head judge, though curiously he was positioned at a separate table. He reads, "Miss Universe, live from Mexico, lindo querido, yeah!" I believe this is the first time in the 73-year history of the pageant that a head judge was assigned, and then the camera slowly pans out into the dark audience before it pans back to the stage. As it has been done in the last 20 years or so, the contestants introduce themselves by simply shouting out their country's names. Although I would have preferred if they had also announced their individual names, but because of the higher number of contestants this year and due to time constraint, the girls were required to just scream out the country that they represented, except of course for Miss Dominican Republic, who went against the grain and also recited her name. Video clips of the various activities were interspersed between the group intros. I noticed that Mexico was the only one carrying a flag, and I felt bad for Moldova because she had to wait a few seconds for the cheers to die down from the Mexican audience loudly cheering for their hometown girl. I did like Namibia's intro, where she makes the heart sign with her hands. And the best intro goes to the sassy Miss Trinidad and Tobago for flipping her hair. This year, Olivia Culpo, Miss Universe 2012, and actor Maria Lopez returned for the second time to host the show. Now, the first time the couple hosted the show was in 2020 when the pageant took place in Hollywood, Florida during the COVID pandemic. That year, Olivia was heavily criticized for lacking energy and for being monotonous. But this year, she was more energetic. But did you notice she kept swinging back and forth, left and right like a pendulum? Maybe she was a little nervous or that she had to go to the bathroom, who knows? When she announced that there were 18 mothers competing, I was shocked because after doing thorough research, I only came up with 13 mothers. I wonder who the other ones were. Anyway, I thought Olivia and Mario had a good chemistry together, and I can see them co-hosting again next year, unless of course they offer the job to Catriona Gray and Zuri Hall, who were this year's backstage commentators. Now, this pair has been doing the same gig 3 years in a row, and I think it's time for them to switch places with Olivia and Mario. What do you think? Comment below. This year's panel of judges included celebrities mostly associated with the entertainment, beauty, fashion, news, and pageant industry who came from diverse and multi-ethnic backgrounds, although the panel was dominated by Hispanics. I was happy to see Filipino designer Michael Cinco judging alongside Miss Universe Canada 2020 Nova Stevens. As some of you remember, Nova was one of the most popular contestants in 2020, but when she failed to place in the contest, her publicist, MG Mode, accused Michael of sabotaging her chances of winning by providing her with ill-fitting gowns. Well, eventually, the two kissed and made up after MG Mode issued a public apology to Michael. Now, because of the unusual high number of contestants this year, the organization thought that it would be best to select 30 semi-finalists. When I did my top 30 list after the preliminaries, only 22 actually made the official list. I missed out on Argentina, Bolivia, China, Nicaragua, Vietnam, and Macau. Obviously, I underestimated these 6 girls, especially Bolivia. Like when I saw her at the lobby of the hotel after the finals, I was truly blown away by her beauty. Now, as far as the other countries that made the official list, they all deserve to be there. I'm happy that Cambodia finally made the cut since the country started competing in 2017. Now, 2 pageant powerhouses, Colombia and USA, failed to advance despite strong performances during the prelims. And Chile, who has one of the most beautiful faces in the competition, won the popular vote and was the last girl to be called to the top 30. All 30 semifinalists competed in the swimsuit round to showcase their confidence and, of course, their figures. The girls got to select their choice of swimsuit style, accompanied by a sheer golden wrap. Now, when Zuri asked Catriona how she would evaluate the contestants, Catriona replied that if she were a judge, she would be evaluating the 4 Ps: personality, posture, power, and pasarela. And then she mentioned Dominican Republic, Philippines, India, Mexico, and Cuba as her favorites, whereas Zuri mentioned Chile and Nigeria. Now, overall, the top 30 featured women of all ages and marital status. The girls that impressed me in this segment were India, who wore a one-piece, Cuba, China, Mexico, Argentina, Thailand, Peru, Philippines, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Bolivia, Finland, Venezuela, and Chile with those amazing abs. All the girls wore the sponsors' platform shoes except for Russia, who opted for a pair of nude stiletto heels. Okay, so I didn't think that Bolivia would get this far, but she was the first one to be called to the top 12. Now, when Mexico was called, the hometown crowd went wild as expected. Another one that surprised me was Argentina, and I was even more surprised when Russia's name was called. I mean, at 18, she's the youngest contestant this year, and she was giving the 2 mothers, Puerto Rico and Venezuela, a run for their money. Many fans were shocked that favorites Dominican Republic and Philippines did not advance despite strong performances. The top 12 selection was followed by the appearance on stage by MUO CEO Anne Jacques-Rajutatip, who praised the contestants and the host country of Mexico.
Hello, Universe! Hola, Universal!
She then introduces a video featuring powerful stories of contestants, starting with Miss Malta, who at 40 is the oldest contestant. She spoke for about a minute and a half, making her the contestant who had the most airtime in speaking.
I'm 40 years old. Can you believe that it took me 40 years of my life to realize the potential I have sitting inside me, residing inside me, listening to you ladies? You inspired me. Young ladies, I'm competing with 19 years old. And I look at them, I'm like, oh my God.
The video cuts to a lengthy live speech by MEO President Raul Rocha Cantu, who struggled to speak English as he read from a teleprompter.
They are our voice, our ears, our eyes through this incredible global platform, the oldest and the most majestic beauty pageant in the world.
His speech was followed by a performance by Robin Thicke, who serenaded the top 12 semi-finalists during the evening gown competition. I hated Puerto Rico's gown that looked like a Project Runway reject. I could not understand the design behind Nigeria's multicolored dress with green train and accessorized with the same silver platform shoes that she wore during the swimsuit competition. And Bolivia's dress was a tad short, thus exposing her shoes. The girls that impressed me in this segment were Thailand, Venezuela, Denmark, Argentina, Mexico, and Chile. When the top 5 finalists were called, there were no surprises at all. Although instead of Venezuela, I would have replaced her either with Chile or Peru, both of whom were facially more attractive and had better performance. Nigeria was shocked and got teary-eyed when she was called, but regained her composure when she took her position. The Mexican audience again went wild when their girl was called, and Denmark became emotional, whereas Thailand's reaction was elegantly serene. Just a quick note, as soon as Olivia changed her gown into a white number, she stopped swaying. Did you guys notice it? The first part of the Q&A saw the finalists pick the name of a judge from a bowl, and this judge asked a specific question. Denmark was the only one who did not answer the question that was asked by Judge Lele Pons. The question was, how would you live your life differently if you knew nobody would judge you? Her answer was...
Thank you for the question. Hola, Mexico! I would never change how I live my life. We learn from our mistakes. We learn every day. We learn something new, and we gotta take that. We gotta take that and bring it to the future. And that's why I live each day by each day, and I just gotta stay positive. And yeah, so no, I will not change nothing.
Thank you, Miss Denmark.
Her answer would have been fine if the question had been, would you change anything in your life? But I guess she did not fully understand the question. Now, the second part of the Q&A showed the finalists take on the same question, which was, Miss Universe has inspired generations of women. What do you want to say to the ones watching you now?
My message to all the world that are watching out there is, no matter where you come from, no matter your past, you can always choose to turn it into your strengths. It will never define who you are. You just gotta keep fighting. I stand here today because I wanna change. I wanna make history. And that's what I'm doing tonight. So never give up. Always believe in yourself and your dreams. And that is exactly what you're going to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Denmark.
Now, this answer is definitely a winning answer. I mean, she listened to the question, she understood the question, and she spoke from the heart. And based on the strong applause that she received from the audience, it was only a matter of minutes that she would eventually be declared as Miss Universe 2024. Now, am I happy with the results? Yes. I mean, ever since I saw Victoria compete in Miss Grand International 2022, where she made the top 20, I've always known that she would one day win an international crown, but I never guessed that it would be Miss Universe. Now, there are certain rumors that are swirling on social media that you have probably heard of, such as that the Miss Universe organization had purposely handpicked Victoria to be Denmark's representative instead of the actual winner, Emma Heist, of Miss Denmark 2024 pageant, which, by the way, Victoria judged. But does it really matter how a Danish representative is selected as long as it is approved by the Miss Universe organization? Many pageant fans, including myself, are concerned about Victoria's safety, especially around Raul, who seems to be tagging along wherever Victoria goes. I did bring this issue up with the Danish National Director Lisa Lenz, who assured me that Victoria is safe and travels at all times with a chaperone named Diana, a social media team, a glam team, a stylist, and other members of the staff. So we can now all breathe and relax. Victoria is safe. Okay, now let's talk about the overall production. Now, if I have to be brutally honest, it is the worst production of any Miss Universe show that I have ever seen. I mean, literally the worst. And I emphatically express this opinion on the new Hulu documentary, Cracks in the Crown, Miss Universe in Crisis, in which I was interviewed. So if you haven't seen the documentary, go see it on Hulu. Anyway, in this documentary, I mentioned that this year's production lacked the magic that we as pageant fans have been accustomed to, and that the organization sacrificed quality over quantity by allowing 125 countries to compete just to give the impression that it has extended its reach to countries that have never competed before, but without really carefully planning the logistics behind it. There were segments that could have been taken out, such as the short biographical video clips of the semi-finalists and Raul's speech, which was almost 3 minutes long. They could have used all that airtime for adding 3 more girls to the second cut, making it a top 15 instead of a top 12. I mean, don't you agree? Finally, the entire telecast featured numerous video clips of the contestants engaging in several activities that include arriving in the host country and promoting it. One video featured El Dia de los Muertos, a special event where the girls had to wear makeup and outfits to look like a Catrina, which is an elegantly dressed skeletal figure used as a symbol of the Day of the Dead. I think this event essentially overshadowed the depth of magic and excitement of the show. And there you have it, my review of Miss Universe 2024. Do you agree or disagree? Comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Until the next time, bye!